Everyone, please join me as we say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Timika, if you do the roll call, please.
Roll call. Mr. Sidlow?
Here.
Ms. Guy?
Here.
Mr. Costigan?
Here.
Ms. Purcival?
Here.
Mr. Powers?
Here.
Mr. Bull?
Here.
Mr. Sweigart?
Here.
Mayor Roman?
Here.
Donna Stillwell? And the police chief?
Here.
Thomas Murray? And we have Moha? Daniel? And Brianna. And I have Mr. Fisher?
And Mr. Rhoda?
I'm sorry, Mr. Rhoda?
Here.
And Mr. Wills.
Here.
Okay. Do we have any correspondence?
No.
No correspondence. Then we will move straight on to the mayor's report, Ms. Roman, Mayor Roman.
Okay, thank you, Madam President. So right now, we're going to swear Officer Young in. Please, Michael, want to say a few things? Oh,
Yeah.
Can I have a motion?
Need a motion.
Wait a minute, Michael. Can I have a motion?
Yeah, we'll first do the motion, yes.
Okay. Can I have a motion to,
I'll make the motion to swear in,
Hire.
to hire, we're doing Charles Young first?
yes, yeah.
Officer Charles Young.
I'll second that.
Any questions? And we vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
All right, so tonight is a very historic night for Parkside Borough. We're swearing in 2 full-time officers who have been hired through the Competitive Civil Service Commission process. It was a very extensive process. These officers were competing against several other very competitive candidates, and these 2 rose to the top of that list. So we're getting 2 outstanding officers. And I offer my sincere congratulations to both Officer Charles Young and Mark Townsend. I know them both to some degree, and I know that they'll serve the people of Parkside with fidelity. Police work is a challenging career. We see it in the news constantly. So it's a calling, and it's not simply just a job. As police officers, you'll be required to utilize multiple skill sets and be a jack of all trades. The many tasks that you'll confront include, but are not limited to, being a counselor to vulnerable people in distress, a mediator to assist in settling neighborhood disputes, a guardian for those suffering from mental illness and those afflicted with drug and alcohol addiction. And policing is a unique career that allows you to have a positive impact on people's lives. We're placing a lot of responsibility and trust in both of you, and we're confident that you are committed to doing the right thing. As you patrol our streets and guard our homes, businesses, and families, be compassionate and caring while also being aware of your surroundings for your own personal safety. Be mindful of our police department's core values of integrity, respect, and trust. Promote fairness and justice. Devote your best efforts to making our community a better and safer place to live, work, and raise our families. You have an incredible support system with our fantastic Chief of Police, our Mayor, and all of Borough Council. And perhaps most importantly, you have the support of the residents of our community, as you can see coming out in full force to support and congratulate our new officers. We wish you nothing but the best as you embark on your careers as full-time officers in Parkside Borough, a small but incredibly strong community. So congratulations and welcome, and we're looking forward to all the great work that you'll do in your borough.
Officer Young? I, Charles Young,
I, Charles Young,
do solemnly swear that I will support,
I, Charles solemnly
swear
support,
that I will support, obey and defend the Constitution of the United States,
obey and defend the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the laws of Pennsylvania,
the laws of Pennsylvania,
the ordinances and regulations of Parkside Borough.
the ordinance and regulations of Parkside Borough.
I also swear that I will uphold,
I also swear that I will uphold,
obey, and enforce
obey, and enforce
the law without consideration
the law without
for
consideration
persons, race, color, sex,
for a person's race, color, sex,
religious creed,
religious creed,
sexual orientation,
sexual
age,
orientation, age,
national origin,
national origin,
ancestry, handicap, or disability.
ancestry, handicap, or disability.
I will perform the duties of a patrol officer
I will perform the duties of a patrol officer
in the Borough of Parkside
in the Borough of Parkside
with fidelity and honor
with fidelity and honor
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
That's exactly the word. He is a frickin' hoot. He was out doing, taking care of us when we were having this outdoor activity.
Congratulations, sir.
And that man had me in stitches.
Absolutely.
I couldn't even have him. And Mark has lived here literally his whole life. You know. Okay. Can we move on? Oh,
We gotta wait till we rotate families.
You gotta switch families first.
Who's up next?
bring him in, bring him in.
I think it's just too many people. We're not used to so many people. Either that or I'm having a hot flash.
I'm
We'll
not.
just switch over.
Second show's time.
Good, Mayor. Round two.
Every meeting. Hold the thought.
I make a motion that we hire Mark Townsend as a full-time police officer.
I'll second that.
Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved.
Mark, come closer. I,
Mark Townsend,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey,
that I will support and obey
and defend the Constitution of the United States,
and defend the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the laws of Pennsylvania,
the laws in Pennsylvania,
and the ordinances and regulations of Parkside Borough.
the ordinances and regulations of Parkside Borough.
I also swear that I will uphold,
I also swear that I will uphold,
obey, and enforce the law
obey, and enforce the laws
without consideration to a person's race,
without consideration to a person's race,
color, sex, religious creed,
color, sex, religious creed,
sexual orientation, age,
sexual orientation, age,
national origins, ancestry,
national origin, ancestry,
handicap, or disability.
handicap, or disability.
I will perform the duties of patrol officer
I will perform the duties of patrol officer
in the Borough of Parkside
in the Borough of Parkside
with fidelity and honor
with fidelity and honor
to the best of my abilities,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Yeah, that's what I was doing, leaning.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, no. You've been here too long, bro. You're fine. Enjoy. Be safe.
How you doing, bud? Good. We're just starting to review the cameras. So, yeah, the hall was pretty crowded, so.
Mark, would like to say something?
So, since I grew up here in Parkside, it's an honor to serve and protect the community that I love so much. And adhering to the small, but strong motto that we believe here every day. And I thank you guys for giving me the opportunity, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you. So, thank you again.
Now we can clear the room. Let's keep it moving. Mark, why don't you take them over to the police station? And you can get your congratulations there.
Overflow.
I want you to know, Amanda, the man sent the congratulations. I was supposed to go to dinner at their house.
Yeah, just, that's what I'm saying to Timika. You're the mom. It's going, you know. Spring's coming. Hope in the air.
I haven't been around much because I
spent Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and sometimes Monday working
At the farm,
Jersey.
yeah.
My girlfriend's farm.
Yeah.
So I'm not very much anymore, except when I'm here.
I understand.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you very much. The meeting's boring. Go.
Or take them with you.
I don't think we have the facilities Shirley provided. Good job. Good job, Timika. All you needed was a broom.
Trying.
Still got a meeting to attend to. Got business.
Oh my gosh, and now there's nobody. We thought all those people were fascinated with our meeting.
Nice seeing everybody.
Please
Thank you all
go.
for coming out.
It's going to be nice when they all are.
Nice seeing you. Thank you for coming.
You got that support.
It's out there. They got a hold of it. Megan's got it. Please don't be on
It'll work.
All right.
People eventually leave.
Mayor, would you like to continue with your report?
Yes. We need to cheese it or not.
Do we want to close the door?
Close that door.
Matt,
Somebody close the door, please,
thank you.
so we can hear.
You look irritated. You look irritated. Yeah. Yeah, me too. Up in the mouth.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, that's all. We just want to close it.
In or out? That's what I tell my cat.
Thank you, everybody. Okay, so, Mayor's report. Crimes reported in February was 1 for burglary. Calls of service, there was 74. Total medical, 10 were assist with other agencies, 5 were domestic, 5 were alarms. No accidents. Traffic detail, there was 21. There were 17 motor vehicle stops. Traffic citations, there were 10, and there were 2 warnings.
And that's it?
That's it
That
for
concludes. Okay. Next, we have public comment. Before we start, I'd like to remind people that these are streamed on YouTube, so I would encourage you not to give your address aloud. And Timika, is there a sheet for them to write their address on, name and address?
Yes. You
Okay.
just write your name and address on the bottom.
So for the minutes, if you just write it, but for the fact that it's on YouTube, it's been advised that people should not give their addresses. So, if anyone would like to speak on agenda-related items only.
Anna, may I interrupt you for a second, please? You read a couple certificate names, I'm sorry. I
Oh.
totally forgot them.
Sure.
Do you want to explain why?
So, Sarah Haynes did one of those, the cleaning up the litter, and just how I do the trash, and I told any of the children that get involved, if you go out and help either with me, or if you have pictures, just, like stating or showing about picking up the trash and everything, that I end up getting all the kids a certificate. So we had some children going out and doing the litter and everything, so I think it's great for the community.
Absolutely.
So that encourages them, I think. So Shirley's going to read the names of all the children that have helped within the past month.
And these are certificates of appreciation for extraordinary service. Anna Grace Smith, Mia Rose Smith, Elia J. Joy Smith, Kira Jones, Kylie Outerbridge, and Ava Outerbridge.
Wonderful.
Thank you, young people.
Wonderful. Okay, so now, anyone have anything on agenda items that they'd like to say or public comment? Okay. Well, we're almost to spring, and it looks like we've gotten through the winter without having to spend a lot of money on plowing and salting. So my flowers are pretty convinced it's spring. I would like to begin by welcoming and congratulating Charlie and Mark. I have seen Mark many times over the years, and he came in to speak to me the other day. And Charlie, he helped us with one of our outdoor events, and the man had me in stitches. He's a hoot. That's how he describes himself. But we couldn't be luckier now. We have 4 full-time officers, and by making them full-time, we've shown them that we are willing to invest in them by giving them full-time jobs and providing them with benefits. And now they can invest more of themselves into our community because they aren't pulled in every direction by working at other places. So now we have 4 focused officers, and I think that they're all spectacular. So we're very fortunate in that regard. And I'd like to thank the Police Commission for all their hard work in making a wise and carefully considered decision. I don't know if any of you saw that our own Brianna was awarded an honorable mention for the 2023 C-SPAN Student Cam. Can you? Will you hate me if I ask you to say something?
No, I don't mind.
Tell me something about it.
Okay, so my documentary was for the C-SPAN Student Cam documentary competition, and the prompt this year was to pick a topic that you would like to address first when you become part of Congress. And I picked gun violence, so topic was gun violence, the violent epidemic. And I basically just went through how gun violence affects people in our country today and how we should change it.
Excellent. Good for you. And that's national. That's huge. All right. And let's see. We do have extended office hours now. Timika, would you like to tell everyone what the hours are now?
Yes, on Tuesday and Thursday nights, I'm here from 3:30 to 6:30 collecting taxes for anybody who wanted to come into the borough. Now, this is just for March, Tuesdays and Thursday nights. I'll be here.
Thank you very much. And for council members, I'll remind you that the statements of financial interests are due, and you can actually fill those out online. It's quite easy. And Mr. Wills is going to tell us about something regarding the possibility of getting some help with our street, but it's a long way out. And I think that is all I have for now. And I thank you all, and hopefully we'll hear about some upcoming recreation events. So I'll turn it over to Mr. Bull.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Mrs. Guy, we've bantered back and forth a credit to or from Rudolph Clark LLC. Did you specifically ask them to research garnishment of wages and to look up the qualifications for the fire marshal and health inspector?
I asked them to confirm something for me, but I did not give them permission to spend that much time, and they have credited us. Our next payment to them is the balance minus that.
I looked at the bills and they did not credit us. So you did authorize.
No, they didn't credit, but Donna did. She said she cut the check.
When I spoke to the treasurer, she was awaiting a credit, and that's why I'm bringing it up to find out if we're due a credit, or if this was authorized, then we are not due a credit.
We are due a credit, and I did speak to her.
I thank you. I will check with her, too.
Mr. Bull.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I would like to make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Questions, I'll start. One of the things we're paying is the firehouse, is that correct? $33,000, it's on page 2 near the bottom.
I did not see that check yet, so it was supposed to get cut.
It's on the bottom there.
I usually just go off the check.
Okay. It's near the bottom.
What's the question?
I'm asking, we are paying the firehouse. I believe that's on there.
I didn't
Their first quarter is definitely due. Yeah, Parkside Fire Company.
Okay.
First quarter 2023.
All right.
$43,750.
I would like to ask that we hold off on that payment because, well, they recently had an audit done and for the Parkside Fire Company Relief Association, and they're supposed to be able to account for the amount of money that they get from them. And over the past 4 years, they have only been able to account for less than $4,000 of the $52,000.
That's incorrect.
Okay.
We've been in touch with the state auditor and the attorney general, and line item 4 that you're reading from, it started in the amount of $58,000. It's now dwindled down to $170. We have till April 30th to complete the audit, and we've been assured by Lisa Reber, who is the state auditor, that the firehouse will receive their relief check in October.
Well, in the meantime, we've given like $350,000 over the last 3 years.
That's fine, and since I've taken over, I gave you a third quarter report, I gave you a fourth quarter report. I can't give you a year-end report because I can't find all the information I need from the prior administration, but we're in a lot better shape than we've ever been, and the audit that we're running through now has hindered my efforts, and being in the hospital last month hindered my efforts to give you a year-end report, but I'm working on it and it will be done, and I will assure everybody that the firehouse money is accounted for, and you can do what you want, but you're hurting the fire company because we're on limited funds. I hate the fire truck not to get out and something happens in this town because you held a check.
Well,
And it is a budgeted item, and it was passed, so I don't know why we're voting on it.
but we also agreed that there would be an audit. And so I would like to see an audit, and since you were able to comply with the last audit, we're willing to pay for it. The borough will pay for it because the residents are.
That's fine. Everything's fine. The last administration spent money where they weren't supposed to. They actually didn't spend money where they weren't supposed to. What they did, they paid invoices, and they paid by check without invoices. So what we're trying to do now is go back and match the invoices to the checks, what we successfully done. So we're okay. We're going to be fine.
So if we have an audit and then we hand you the check?
I don't know if the firehouse can remain open.
I don't think one equates to the other. I'm sorry to interrupt, but one does not equate to another. We budgeted a specific amount of money to the fire company. You're looking at something that I'm assured the rest of council does not have, so I can't equate to what you're talking about.
Well, you have it, correct?
I don't have that.
Oh, actually.
Yeah, we all received that. That was.
Well, I'm sorry then, I did not see it. I apologize.
Without that check, I believe the firehouse won't be able to pay their utility bills and put fuel in the trucks,
All right,
and
then-
you might close the
But
firehouse
this is a
down.
budgeted item, it should not be held up.
I'd be willing to consider, can we get an audit before the next check's due? That's 3 months.
3 months, I hope. I mean, right now, we're still in an audit until the end of April with them. And I'll try my best. I mean, I can't sit here and say, yes, it'll be done. There's steps that have to take place. We have to find somebody who does the audit. We have to wrap this audit up. But I can assure you, if the state gives us our check, and they'll send another letter out to Borough Council, because it's public knowledge, that number 4 is what they're claiming has happened on that sheet. They will send out another letter, their findings at the end of April, saying that we complied. And if you comply with the state, you're okay. You'll get your.
Excuse me, did you not get a grant recently?
Yes, we just
So
got a
if you got a
$25,000.
grant, then-
We got 2 grants. We got a federal grant for $72,000 for hose, and we just got the COVID-19 county grant for $25,000.
So obviously there's
So
not a financial issue.
Yeah, we wouldn't have got that grant
That's
if
correct.
we were in any type of penalty or trouble.
That's correct.
we wouldn't have got a federal grant.
Okay,
We have a SAMS number, which they wouldn't redo the SAMS number if we were in fault in anything. We have a SAMS number, we have a DUNS number, and we have an EIN number. And we have a Pennsylvania tax exempt number.
And you still can't come up with the receipt for $170.
So what happened was our former chief, whoever came here in the past, Andrew Cuz, and approached council a few times in not so nice of a manner. He joined a not a relief association. He joined a firemen's association from where he's from. He's originally from Montgomery County. He joined that association. Why he joined that association, I wasn't there when he did it. I wasn't an administrator then. It was an amount of $140. We called that group, and they don't know what we're talking about, so they wouldn't issue an invoice. So that money was paid out of relief. We had to take that money out of the general account and pay back relief because it was unauthorized. There was another $30 that he used on a debit card out of relief from TD Bank for Uber Eats. So $140 and $30 unauthorized came out of the relief. We had to write a check out of the general to the relief with a deposit ticket and mail it to Harrisburg, which we did. So that part's satisfied. The other $58,000 was all in insurance money. And our treasurer back then, who was our former mayor, wrote checks out of the relief for insurance that were not authorized and paid them without invoices, which is a no-no. So we had to go back to the insurance company, find all the checks that were written, re-invoice everything, match them to there. We sent that out. They're okay with that. Now the only thing we're waiting on now, which is the holdup now, is in order to use money for relief, you have to buy certain things, equipment, things like that, firehouses, trucks. If you buy it with relief money, you have to use relief money. Our firehouse and our trucks was never bought with relief money, but yet he paid the insurance for the firehouse and the trucks out of relief money. You're only allowed to pay liability. So we have to figure out the liability amount that was paid out of those. And once that's discussed and sent back to us with our insurance agent, who's working with the insurance agent, working with Lisa Reaver and ourselves, once we figure out how much has to be paid back to relief, then we'll be clear, which we will be. We will be fine.
I hope, because they actually talked about some repeat offenses that had not been fixed from the last time.
Well, you can see what you got before me to what you're getting now. You were getting nothing. And now I've given you a pretty darn breakdown of what's going on.
Well, I also talked to somebody from Harrisburg, and they said that providing the amount of money that we've provided to the firehouse without some sort of accountability and an audit is
I'll give you Lisa Reaver's phone number. She's the one.
Who?
She's Lisa Reaver. She is the Attorney General, and she is in charge of this process.
All right,
So tonight I'll give it to you when we're done.
All right, I'll agree this time. I won't object to it, but I would like, before the next time we pay that check, that we have
I will do
an
my
audit.
best to have the audit done. I can't guarantee it, but I'll do my best.
Well,
And
I'll help you with
If not by then, I'll definitely have it done within the 6-month period.
I'll help you with it.
I will. I've got, the fire company has nothing to hide. We've got a new bunch of group over there. They're working hard. They're training. There's more money ever than in the bank, and I don't, it's all public, so I don't have a problem telling you, with the check that we get tonight, there'll be over $80,000 in the bank. That has not happened as far as I know in years. So, all bills are paid, everything's up to date, training's going well. So far for the year, I think we're already at 75 fire calls for the year, which is a lot. So we're busy. We haven't not missed a call all year yet. Have not missed a call. So.
All right, any other questions? We have a motion on the table.
I have a question. I'd like a roll call vote for the bills to be paid, please.
This
Mr. Sweigart?
Yes.
Mr. Sidlow?
Yes.
Mr. Costigan?
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Bull?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes, I abstain from the fire company check.
Ms. Purcival?
Yes.
Mr. Bull? I'm sorry.
Yes. I made the
And,
motion.
sorry, President Guy?
Yes.
Passed.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to read the report, Treasurer's Report for the Parkside Borough, and date March 13th, 2023, meeting March 15th, 2023. All bank accounts are reconciled through February 28th, 2023. Escrow accounts were under review, and they just don't have monthly statements. General fund for the month of February, $43,499.41 was deposited into TD Bank, and expenses of $4,370.44 were paid during this period. $45,817.74 of deposits were received in the Sharon Bank's general fund, and $106,732.73 of expenses were paid out, including payroll of $36,353.66. Below the bank balances as of 2/28/23, general account, Sharon Bank, $210,709.17. General account, TD Bank, $325,847.76. And then we have a number of minimus accounts that have been reconciled. So with that, I will make the motion to accept the treasurer's report.
A second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Thank you, Madam President. Moving along to the open space report, we did a walkthrough last month. It was noted where the old bench has somewhat broken down as far as there is some metal that's there. One of the residents asked to have it looked at. We'll just have to make a decision on if it's going to be rebuilt or removed entirely. Removing it entirely does seem to be like it would be a little bit of an undertaking because it was cemented in and the tree has continued to grow around, over, and through the cement. So that's just something we'll have to take up with Public Works or figure out a way to have it repaired. My rough estimate as a layman would probably be somewhere around $1,000 to have that repaired. The rest of the trees, getting ready to start bud out. We do have some Atlantis that should possibly be addressed again with either the spotted landing fly treatment like was done 2 years ago, or perhaps consider an abatement program somewhere mid-season. And with that, I'll recommend general progress.
All right.
Madam President, I just have one comment. I think we should try to rebuild that bench personally, because it's definitely a safety hazard as it is now, I think. So I think the best way to go would be to rebuild that and, as soon as we can.
I don't have bid prices or an estimate to have it rebuilt right now.
Yeah, I understand.
I'll have to get back to you, prices or something along those lines.
Okay, in the meantime, is it in such a way that people can't get hurt on it? Is it covered? Is it?
It's off the trail. There are no defined hazards as it stands. We would have to seek out problems to find it.
Well, it's where we have our Easter egg hunt?
Typically, it's up significantly from the Easter egg hunt.
Okay. Okay.
The bench has been in similar condition for many years.
All I know.
It used to be kind of way out of the way, and since, a little bit of development's kind of taken place and a few things that have been, where it was overgrown, it's not as overgrown now. It's just a little bit more in view. So it can be addressed. Certainly not against it.
Oh, tetanus is terrible. Okay. If there's nothing else, we'll move on to the junior council report.
So our junior council now, we're just getting into the process of thinking about different projects that they wanted to work on. I also wanted to congratulate Brianna again for the video. I watched it this afternoon. It was really great work, and I think you said there were 3,000 submissions for that? Yeah, so 3,000 people across the country submitted a video. Are they all videos? Yeah, a video about an issue that they saw and wanted to see corrected. And out of those 3,000, Brianna made honorable mention. So it was really fantastic work. It was really a great job.
Way to represent.
So I don't know if anybody, I know Brianna, you talked about their projects a little bit, but if anybody else has anything to say.
So my dad coached my little sister for Costigan basketball, and then our sponsor was our borough. So they wanted to give us this splash.
Oh, nice.
Thank
It'll
you.
go- All right.
And that's it for junior council.
Okay.
This is yours.
Police, public, let's see, recreation. Recreation report?
I'd just like to let everybody know on March 30th, we will be going to the fire company around 5:30.
Mm-hmm. 5:30.
Boil the eggs for the egg hunt and to stuff the eggs, March 31st. Again, at the firehouse between 6 and 8, we're going to have the dyeing of the eggs. We also came up with a little idea where in one of the little corners, which Daniel knows about, but want to bring up to the other two junior council members, we want to do a story time, so maybe one of the junior council members can each take a time and read a story during that time. April 1st, is the egg hunt down at the woodlot that starts at noon. I also want to thank Brianna's mom, sister, because she joined the recreation committee. And the next meeting, it's the first Wednesday of April, if I'm not mistaken, it's April 5th. We meet here at 6:30. So all volunteers are more than welcome to come and help us. The commitment from the committee doesn't go unnoticed. We wanted to say we appreciate everybody helping us with the recreation committee.
So the egg stuffing for the Easter egg hunt is the 30th at 5:30. The 31st, 6 to 8 is the egg dyeing, and then on the 1st, what time does it start?
It's at noon.
Noon? Okay.
Yep.
So late. I don't know. Did it feel like it was early morning when I had kids? No.
It's always been around that.
Okay.
I believe it's the 9th.
What?
Easter's the 9th.
Easter's the 9th?
I believe so.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Moving on to police public safety report.
So I don't have much to report other than we had our swearing in of our new officers. So they are in the process of starting to come on full time and start taking on their own shifts. Mark is new to the department, so he has to do some training first with other officers and get a sense of it in our community. He's been an officer in other places, but this is his first time working with our department. And then Officer Young is in the process of getting started full-time. He was part-time, so he'll be transitioning into a full-time position, but he had full-time employment elsewhere, so he's in the midst of retiring from his job, and they'll both be coming on in the next few weeks. So we look forward to welcoming them, and other than that, I can just report general progress.
Thank you very much. Ordinances?
For ordinances, I report general progress. For license and inspections,
Excuse me, Mr. Sidlow?
yes.
I know you've had some issues the last couple months. When would the ordinance committee look at the senior discount permit, especially now that the weather's becoming nicer? It's a 2-month process, so that's why I'm asking again.
Sure. Well, I'm trying to tie that into a bigger project that I just have not put my time into.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah, I think we should be able to lower it for all residents, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And for licenses and inspections, there were 7 building permits, 1 plumbing permit, no electrical permits, 2 use and occupancy, and 2 reinspection.
Do you have a code enforcement? Was that
The March code enforcement, 1 issue of placement of container on the 2900 block of Edgemont Avenue, 1 issue of noise complaint at Parkside Elementary, received an anonymous letter of a dangerous and vicious animal, which was unfounded, 1 issue of illegal street excavation on East Avon, 2 issues of dog feces at Parkside Terrace and Edgemont Avenue, and 1 issue of illegal car repair at Cisco Court. End of report.
That might be the most colorful report we've ever had of that kind. Oh, okay. Let's see, Public Works.
General progress.
Thank you. Health Inspector, Fire Emergency.
Fire marshal, commercial inspections will begin next week. Due to my illness over the last few months, I can report general progress.
Thank you. Does anybody have a recycling report?
I do. Recycling MS report, we had 79.28 tons of regular trash, 17.37 ton of recycling. Both are decreased for the last several months.
Thank you for doing that. And communications, Mr. Sweigart?
Communications, I'm not sure when our next newsletter is going to be going out due to the fact that our newsletter guru is on vacation in Africa at this time.
Nigeria.
Nigeria, is that where he's at? So it's going to be a little delayed, plus I'd like to wait till after we have all the rec events from the Easter activities to make sure we can include that in the next one as well.
I thought was there one coming out? No? No? Okay. Wait, okay, all right, good deal, all right.
How do we get there?
Last newsletter is on the website, is it not?
It should be, yeah.
Just on the website, that's it? There's no hard copies or
No.
anything? Because I haven't seen the last newsletter.
Well, they're on the website,
Okay.
yeah. And
It's digital. We're not doing the door-to-door drop-offs.
Okay.
Other than that, I can report general progress.
thank you very much. And did we have a tax collector?
Yes, the tax report, it says, "Good evening. The treasurer has received $76,373.39 to date. This is as of February 1st to March 8th. Thank you."
Mr. Rodo.
Thank you, Madam President. For the flashing beacons, discussions with PennDOT regarding liquid fuels use for the beacons have finally paid off. The project will be moving forward, and we are awaiting Form 329 approval from PennDOT. Per PennDOT's requirements, I met with the contractor and PennDOT today to determine the exact locations of the beacon poles, and they've been marked out where they will be out there. I recommend we move forward with the Arnell Company proposal of $8,000 for the crosswalk and ADA ramp removal and restoration, as was approved last month. We gave it a shot as the alternate in the West Cole bid, and for that same work, it was $9,360. As mentioned, the bid opening for the West Cole Memorial Project took place this morning. 1 bid was received with a base bid amount of $69,000, well above the estimate. I recommend rejecting the bid and rebidding next month in order to hopefully get a couple of contractors and a more competitive price. And that concludes my engineer's report.
I'll make a motion to reject the bids on the West Pole Memorial Park improvements and rebid next month.
Any questions?
I'm sorry, 2 seconds? Doug, okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Good recommendation.
And I have a question for the engineer.
Yes.
Could you tell me, are we going to accept the concrete work on the bid that came through for $9,360?
No, that was part of the...
Secondary?
Yes, that was the alternate for today. That whole bid would be rejected. And Ornell's proposal that was approved last month was $8,000.
Thank you. And that comes out of general fund?
Does this meet the pen bid thresholds too?
It's under that amount. And I sent Timika, I believe everyone, an email today with a letter that shows the 3 prices we've received, even though this is under the threshold for needing 3 anyway, but we did receive 3 over the past couple of months, so we're in good shape there.
Thank you very much. And now for the solicitor, Mr. Wills.
Yes. Thank you, Madam President, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The March Solicitor's report is as follows. Number 1, last month the borough had received correspondence from E-Code regarding a discrepancy in the sequential numbering of the borough's stormwater management ordinance and other borough ordinances adopted in 2022. Now, E-Code is the borough's vendor that codifies all of our municipal ordinances and provides an online code portal for easy public access, research, and information sharing. After a productive office meeting with our borough secretary, we were able to collectively resolve the sequential numbering issues surrounding last year's adopted ordinances and have advised E-Code of the proper assigned numbers for all affected ordinances. Number 2, my office has recently drafted and filed 12 trash fee liens in the Delaware County Court of Common Pleas, again regarding 2022 delinquent trash fee accounts. Now, this is a relatively small number in comparison to previous years, and I am pleased to advise that all other trash fee accounts for 2022 have been paid in full. 3, the borough has received a right-to-know-law appeal that was filed with the Pennsylvania Office of Open Records. I have filed a timely response to that appeal and drafted a memorandum of law in support of the borough's position to the assigned appeals officer. A final determination by the appeals officer is due on or about May the 1st of 2023. 4th, again, my office has had continued supplemental communications with PennDOT to support the borough's position for the expenditure of liquid fuel funds to fund the Edgemont Avenue Beacon project. Again, thanks to the collective efforts of the borough's professional staff, including the borough engineer, the borough treasurer, as well as members of borough council, those efforts have borne much success. With the exception of the concrete curb and sidewalk, liquid fuels monies, rather than general fund dollars, may now be expended to fund this important public safety project. 5th, I advised Borough Council last month that legislation has recently been introduced in the Pennsylvania House and the Pennsylvania Senate to amend the state highway law to require that PennDOT maintain all surface and subsurface drainage facilities connected with state highways, such as Edgemont Avenue. And again, this would be for boroughs with populations equal to or less than 2,500 people, i.e. that would also include Parkside Borough. Currently, if a state highway is located in a borough, then only the surface of the road is maintained by PennDOT, leaving the subsurface maintenance to the borough. This proposed legislation would assist approximately 300 boroughs in the Commonwealth, including Parkside Borough. And again, I certainly would invite members of Borough Council as well as the public to certainly contact the offices of Senator John Kane, as well as State Representative Carol Kazim, and certainly request that they support this important legislative change. And with that, Madam President, I can report general progress.
Thank you very much. Just to elaborate a little bit, the whole point of the law, if they pass it, is recognizing that small boroughs like us cannot afford to maintain these roads that are used by so many vehicles. So please contact Kane, Kazim, both of them, and, because we're small, but we need to be loud because, the big cities don't need this help, we do. So please reach out, use your voice. Thank you very much. Our next item is call to citizens. If you would come up, and again, please don't say your address, just say your name, write down your address.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ken Goldstein, residing in Parkside Borough. I came before council at the February meeting under the call to citizens portion of the meeting, and I asked council several questions regarding the position of code enforcement. And I was told that questions asked during this segment would not be able to be responded to at that time. I then asked how it might be accommodated, and I was told to forward my questions to the council president, which I did directly, and also to the borough secretary, and a meeting would be arranged whereby my concerns would be addressed. To date, I've had no response, and so I'm asking a second time to meet with a council representative to have my concerns addressed. Just to refresh, I asked why the acting code enforcement officer, Nick Capobianco, who continues to perform his duties in good faith, has yet to be appointed by council officially and has not yet received your vote of confidence. I further asked as to why an attempt was made to replace Mr. Capobianco at the January meeting with an individual whom at best failed to perform the duties of borough code enforcement officer during his tenure directly prior to Mr. Capobianco. I would like to know your specific and verifiable concerns as to why Mr. Capobianco has yet to earn your vote of confidence and also a permanent appointment. And lastly, I further stated that if it is your intent to replace Mr. Capobianco in lieu of a mere appointment, that a procedure be implemented of advertising the position and job description, both within and without of the borough, interviewing and vetting interested candidates before making a final recommendation, allowing Mr. Capobianco to reapply should he himself decide to do so. So I hope, asking again, that within a reasonable period of time I will hear from someone to address my concerns and the concerns of others in the community. Thank you for your time.
There's no paper up here to sign.
Timika, can you just
sign the agenda, whatever paper
Okay.
up there, and I already know.
I have a couple questions. One, if Edgemont Avenue, when are we going to try to fix it? If a car gets damaged or a crossing guard falls in the groove that's literally right there where they have to cross children, or if a children gets hurt, whose responsibility is that? Is it the boroughs?
Mr. Wells.
That is a detailed legal question, but I suspect there may be multiple parties. Obviously, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, PennDOT, but the Borough of Parkside would also share in potential liability exposure on the specific question that you raised here this evening.
Okay, my other question is to you, Mr. Wells. Maybe you can. Is there a difference between call of citizens and comment, just comments? Because we never get answered. We get a thank you or a dirty look, but yet other people are answered, friends of, and they get answered every time.
The Pennsylvania Sunshine Act provides that, again, citizens can participate in public meetings. There are 2 public comment sessions, one in the beginning of the meeting where public comment is generally limited to agenda items, and then, of course, we have a public comment period at the end where the breadth and depth of the public comment is certainly widened. And you are free to comment on any borough-related item you may wish to do so. You may ask questions, but the Pennsylvania Sunshine Law does not compel Borough Council to necessarily respond or answer that question. So I understand that, you know, there may be some frustration. You ask a question, and perhaps
Because we don't get answered, but all her friends get answered. That's not fair.
I can only say that the Pennsylvania Sunshine Law that does not compel that council must answer or respond to those questions. You certainly have a right to ask those questions. You certainly have a right to make public comment. But again, the Sunshine Law, as it is presently written, does not require council to provide an affirmative answer to that question.
Anyone else?
Hi, Judy Saunders. I have a question about the memorial garden that Daniel raised for the junior council member. Is there any way we could, and obviously you don't have to answer this, I'm just going to suggest it, that we could put something on the next agenda to earmark a certain amount of money for them? I mean, I don't think it would be that much. I would assume we could probably have it at like $500 for the 3 memorial gardens. And then if we started it with Parkside planners, of which we have a lot, we could probably make it grow into more. There's more than just those 3 issues. We could have them throughout. It beautifies the neighborhood. It also gives everybody kind of a chance to think about topics like that. So just a suggestion, don't be an answer.
Daniel, would you like to research how much it would cost?
Yeah.
Do that. All right, thank you.
He had something to say, but when he gets skipped over, he won't say anything, so can he give his little report? I'm sorry to interrupt this whole thing.
No, I'm
Yeah,
sorry
I
you
know.
didn't give it earlier.
He'll be quiet.
I'll have to ask him personally each time, right? Come on, Daniel, don't be scared.
I'd rather do it like half a minute.
You can't, you have to do it now.
So I just wanted to know if...
Think about it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to. That's all
I just wanted to know if the council agreed to memorial gardens, like accepting the idea.
I think it's a great idea. I'd love you to look into it more, see what the pricing would be.
Okay, so when would we, like the junior council, be able to meet with Mr. Rhoda to go over the plan?
I'm available whenever. If Timika has my number, my email address, we can set up a time to.
If you guys set up a time, you know,
I'll be
circle
available.
back with Mr. Rodo. So you guys set up a time and I'll circle with Mr. Rodo. Okay?
All right, wonderful. I know you have more to say. Come on.
You have to encourage him to speak on
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Anything else? Call to citizens. We'll move on to old business. Is there any old business? Okay, I keep looking at the clock in disbelief. Any new business?
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda under new business to include changing bank signers due to the failure of the president not signing and distributing checks in a timely manner, causing many issues, which I can explain. I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda.
Right now, with the signers are Mr. Bull, me, and Timika, right?
That's correct.
So all three of us can sign them, and we need 2 signatures.
I'm making a motion to amend the agenda to bring up that discussion.
All right. We have a motion. Do we have a second? Okay, moving on.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if that is all.
Still under new business?
Oh, are we still under new business? Yeah.
Yeah.
You got something?
There were a couple that were withheld. I would prefer that we don't do that. So if it's not borough property, please keep it on site. So as it can be signed, it can be submitted or sent out. Because there was a number of issues. And I don't necessarily.
I don't know what number you're talking about. I know of one.
That's all that matters to me.
Okay, but there's one.
But that's all.
But checks have been.
We just can't do that. It undermines the credibility of the council.
I don't disagree. Fine. Thank you. Anything else?
I have one quick thing.
Really?
It's quick. So I sent out an email today in my meeting with PennDOT. They did recommend, or this would say would be a good idea to get one of those signs on the double yellow line, either in conjunction with the beacons or until they're actually installed, to try to slow down some of the traffic out there, as I witnessed today was
it's ridiculous.
A little excessive.
It's horrendous.
I asked if PennDOT needed to approve that, and they said no, it's more of a temporary, considered temporary, and they don't need to approve it.
We did try to do this at one
Yeah, we did have them. She would put them out when she was crossing the kids.
And it turned into a big issue. But no,
Well, I'll email PennDOT and get a response back from them.
Do we already own those?
I think we have some.
We just gotta make sure they're not too close where it'll hinder any of the bus turns.
One of the things that you don't appreciate if you don't live here is that when you drive up and down Edgemont, the sun is going right into your eyes in the morning, depending which way you're going. So
Yeah, we could set them back maybe 50 feet from the crosswalk to give it a little room.
Yeah.
And he also mentioned, I don't know if Public Works has any cold patch. There's a, Rob, there's a pothole in the crosswalk, within the crosswalk. And if that could be patched, since it's within the crosswalk.
Yeah, we have a cold patch.
That would, it's maybe like 2 feet by a foot wide or so within the crosswalk. That would be good. That's all I have.
Excellent. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Anything else? Going once, going twice. We are adjourned. Look at that.
And I do believe you forgot to mention the executive session.
Oh, you're right. We did have an executive session. We had an executive session. We had to talk about some legal matters. I apologize. Thanks for reminding me, Shirley.